Welcome back. Today on Dialed In DIY, we're fixing the monkey. It can be downright frustrating when a child's beloved toy quits working the way it's supposed to. So whenever this happens, I'm always happy to try to help, and I'll open up my Dialed In toy workshop, just like we did with the Woody doll in the previous video. You can find that video linked in the description below. The first similarity to the Woody doll is that it just doesn't work the way it was supposed to. In Woody, the sound didn't work at all, but this time, you start it, and it will start to make the right sounds, but then it just stops. So, you end up with an unhappy child. To find out the problem with Woody, all we had to do was open a little Velcro flap in the back. But on this poor little monkey, he's sewed up tight, so you have to find the seam, spread it apart a little bit, look for the stitching, and then cut the first stitch so you can slowly and carefully pull out enough so that you can get to the mechanism inside. Oftentimes, if a toy's broken, you have nothing to lose if you go ahead and investigate, so it's always nice to open them up and see how things work, and we're going to take a look at that in just a minute as well. Once you have the stitching opened up, you're going to notice plenty of stuffing on the inside. You just need to remove enough so that you can get to the main parts. You want to go ahead and hold on to this and keep it clean because we're putting it all back in once we have everything repaired. You may remember when we opened up Woody, there was a plastic box on the inside, and this one has one too. It just happens to be that this plastic box is also inside of a cloth bag, so we're going to have to get the stitching out of this so we can get to working on the project on the inside. Another similarity between this project and the Woody video that we did previously is that both toys are actually activated by pulling on a string. There are some subtle differences, and we're going to point that out when we get to the inside mechanism as well. Well, now that we got that bag out of the way, we can go ahead and get a screwdriver out and remove the two screws that are holding the two halves of the case together. We're going to go ahead and open up the case now, but you want to do so slowly just in case part of it is attached to each side. Since it's not, we're going to begin investigating the problem by pulling on the string. You'll notice this time a lever action pushes a button which activates the mechanism itself. This seems to be working just fine, and all of the wires seem to be connected the way they're supposed to. So my guess, this may be a battery problem. I'm going to actually go ahead and test the batteries with the voltage meter, or you can use a battery tester, or you can just try testing it out by putting in brand new batteries. Either way works, but by testing each one individually, I set it at a 1.5 voltage DC rating, found out that each one registered at a replace on my voltage meter. So I know exactly what the problem is, and it was easy to fix merely by putting in a fresh set of batteries. Each of the batteries here was 1.5 volts, so when you add them up, you get 4.5 volts total, and when you pull on the string, it works! Yeah, the monkey is musical once again. While this actually looks a little bit more complicated on the inside than the Toy Story Woody doll, it actually has the same basic parts as you can see here. The only main difference is that it's a lever button instead of a coiled pull string. So basically, when you pull on the string for this toy, it works like a seesaw. It pulls down, the other side pulls up, and pushes the button. I want to give a very special thanks to Rania for sewing the monkey up and making it look like new, and now it works like new as well. You can tell with all the stuffing back inside, it sounds a little bit more muffled than when the box was out, but that's the way it was intended to sound. Well, I hope you learned something useful, and you never know. Maybe someday you can help fix somebody else's very important toy too. Thank you for watching. Please press like and then subscribe. There will be more Dialed In DIY to come.